Good morning and welcome back. A perfect storm. Anti-police rhetoric causing law enforcement recruitment to plummet nationwide just as crime rates soar. Police now warning this could affect your family's safety. Here to react, Fraternal Order of Police National President Patrick Yoes. Patrick, thank you for joining me. It's good to see you this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
As we go ahead and pull up the numbers here for full-time law enforcement employees, you'll see total officers. That number just seems to be shrinking and shrinking. How much of a concern is this?
Well, there's no doubt. First, let me start by saying that I have such an overwhelming pride for police officers' unrelenting courage in face of these challenging times.
Absolutely.
Despite all of the rhetoric, they continue to show up in communities across America every day and making a difference in the lives of the communities they serve. And we saw that in Colorado.
Absolutely. But, I mean, how much of a long-term effect could this have? How long would it take to rebound from dropped recruitment like this to be able to keep communities all across the country safe?
Well, we have almost a perfect storm right now. What we have is a lack of people, the best and the brightest, wanting to go into the law enforcement field. At the same time, we have law enforcement officers with a tremendous amount of experience that are just hanging it up. They're retiring and retiring early, and there just is such instability within our profession that it's definitely causing some problems that I think are going to have some long-term impact on our ability to be able to properly protect our communities.
How long does it take to build up recruitment again? Because, I mean, it's not like that's something that's going to happen overnight, because people are seeing what's happening on the streets in cities all across the country.
Well, I think one thing we need to recognize is even when we hire an officer, that officer is probably a few years away from actually getting to the point where they're an effective and efficient officer based on training and field training. So even if we immediately started turning the tide and hiring officers at a higher rate, then it still would take some time to be able to fill this backfill that's being created by so many officers leaving our profession.
Let's take a look at this graph here, and it's pretty disturbing. You can look at the U.S. murder rate per 100,000, and you can see that graph just going up there. More than 20,000 more homicides. That's the largest one-year jump in history, the most since 1998. I mean, that's gotta be a punch to the gut for you and for all of the officers out there on the streets who are dealing with this day in and day out.
Well, I think we need to recognize that all these discussions about destabilizing the law enforcement profession is having an impact, and it's also having an impact in our communities as well. And if you look at the cities that are talking the most about defunding, they're the ones that are having the highest increase. Yeah. This is an experiment that's making our communities less safe, and it's certainly making our profession less safe as well.
Absolutely. Well, Patrick Yoes, thank you very much for joining us, drawing attention to this, and keep us updated. Well, I'll be curious to see, if those numbers start to increase at all. But for now, that is unfortunately the situation we're dealing with. I appreciate your time.